Hi, this is Nani, and today my second film in Tamil after Weapon. It's Naan E. So yeah, I know it sounds like my name. So we just had a press meet for Naan E, just to announce the details of the film. For me, it was one of the greatest experience working for Nani, because it's number one, it's Rajmouli sir, and every day you get to learn something from Rajmouli sir. Because I was a fan of his work before, but now I have become his fan, like on a personal level, because I have learned so much from him, and so much of positive energy. I think it reflects in his work also, and I really want to thank him for making me part of such an awesome film. So only I know details about the film, so I have seen scenes of the film, so I for sure know this is going to be a very big hit in the history of South Indian cinema. So I just want to wait and see you guys, see your reaction and watch it with you in the theaters. Thank you. Andariki namaskaram. మన ఈగ సినిమాకి సంబంధించిన చిన్న ప్రెస్ మీట్ అంటే ఈగ అంటే నాన్ ఈ తమిళ్లో యాక్చువల్లీ బైలింగ్వల్ చేసాం, తమిళ్ ఇంకా తెలుగు. ఎందుకంటే ఈగ అన్నది ఒక ఏరియాకి సంబంధించిందో ఇంకోటో కాదు. ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎలాంటి కాన్సెప్ట్ అంటే ఇది యూనివర్సల్. యాక్చువల్లీ ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కడైనా సరే ఏ లాంగ్వేజ్లో అయినా సరే ఆడేస్తుంది. సో తమిళ్ తెలుగు బైలింగ్వల్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఈరోజు తమిళ్ దానికి సంబంధించిన చిన్న డీటెయిల్స్ని అనౌన్స్ చేయడానికి ఈరోజు ఒక చిన్న ప్రెస్ మీట్ పెట్టడం జరిగింది. అండ్ మనం ఇంకెక్కువ డీటెయిల్స్ మాట్లాడుకోవాలంటే త్వరలోనే మార్చ్లో ఈగ ఆడియో రిలీజ్ ఉంటుంది. ఆడియో రిలీజ్ రోజు మంచి పాటలతో సహా ఇంకా బోల్డ్ అండ్ డీటెయిల్స్ కూడా మీతో పంచుకుంటాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
It's interesting for me as one of the co-founders of Makuta, one of the effects companies, so the primary effects company that's working on Eager. We've travelled with Rajamouli. This is our third time we've travelled together. Firstly for me was with Magadira, then it was Maria Romana, and now Eager. Personally, I think even though Magadira was a groundbreaking film, I think the number of effect shots in this film completely outweighs Magadira itself. The number of animations and the amount of visual effects that needs to go into this, obviously with our hero being an animated character, even though he is photorealistic, he is a real thing. The technical aspect is a next level. It's the next stage up. The amount of rendering power that we've had to invest in, the amount of animators and staff and artists and technologies that we've adapted and improved on to create this guy has been tenfold. It's been a very big leap in technology. Expectations for me. I'm waiting to see how it all turns out, to be perfectly honest. I've seen preliminary shots, I've seen completed scenes, and he's looking very good. We're very happy with the results. The director's very happy with the results as well. The performance is good. Our main objective is to make sure that the character will connect with the audience, even though he's limited in the way that he is an insect. He's a flying insect. We need to make sure that he can connect, the audience can connect with him. So it's all about performance, it's about body language, it's about how the two can actually join together. So there were some original technical limitations, there were some performance limitations and so on, but we believe that we've crossed that bridge. We feel that the message is getting across, the things that the character wants to convey to the audience and convey in performance is there. We've got some pretty good animators in who are working on this thing. We've studied reference material, how he flies, how many beats per second the wings go, how the twitches of the head go, and so on. So we've really done our homework on this thing. Through anything from the amount of beats per second on the wings through to the performance, and even down to how he takes off and lands from going from one surface onto another surface. All these things we've studied, so it is a faithful representation with a bit of artistic license thrown in. At this stage, I can't go into specific details because it would give away the plot, unfortunately. At this particular stage, if you'd asked me this question maybe after the film's released, I can tell you exactly what that was. You know, that one there was the hardest one, the one we spent the majority of time onto, and the one that we scratched our brains on. I think originally, to be perfectly honest, was the hardest thing that we had, or the most time-consuming thing that we had, has been to actually finalize on the design of the character. That's been gone through so many revisions and so many iterations. I mean, this guy, this is our fourth version of him. So we went through so many different versions of him before we actually landed on this guy. Previously had a different face, the body was slightly different, the tail was slightly different. Then we went onto something that was more like a bit like a blue bottle. That got shelved a little bit. The legs were slightly shorter, more space, slightly more out, kind of a bit like Pixar, but it didn't really work as far as a photorealistic character. Then we also went down along the lines of actually having pupils. I'm not sure if you can see them because of my shadow, but we actually had pupils in here as well. Again, that got shelved as well because it looked a little bit too cartoony, and the believability went. So with all of these things, all of these factors, we'd do some of these things on the computer. We'd give final outputs, and we'd sit in the screening room and go, yeah, that kind of works, or that didn't kind of work. So we'd take a little bit of that and put that with something else, and a little bit of that and put that with that one, and that one didn't work. We'll just skim that totally. We started. Well, I think we got the original treatment. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the director narrated give us a rough idea of the kind of thing that he wanted to do shortly after finishing Maria the Romana. So a couple of years ago now, really, about a year and a half ago, he gave us a rough idea of what he kind of do. And for me, it was a bit nerve-wracking, not because of the amount of work that we needed to do, but because I have one phobia. I am afraid of one thing, apart from maybe getting hit by a car. Flies. Flies are my phobia. And I knew that if I was going to work on this film, and if my company was going to be working on this film, if we were going to work on this, I would have to face this guy day in, day out, every day, staring at a fly for it's like someone who's in fear of spiders, literally staring at a spider every single day. And I was wondering whether or not I could do it, but we did. I did. And for me, that was a bit of an accomplishment. I'm not so afraid of them anymore, which is kind of good. It's kind of helped me with my phobia. But the scripts arrived on our doorstep over a year ago, and we went through camera tests before we even shot a single roll of film. We went through various different digital formats. They weren't ready at that point in time, so we went back to film. We then tested various different lenses to see whether or not we could get the shots that we need to achieve. So there's various different ways that we're actually portraying the real world in this film. So we're not only just human perception, but we're also, what is it like when you're a fly? You know, how big is everybody? It's like a walking skyscraper, for example. So we needed to get things like this sense of scale in camera. So we went through various different optics, various different lenses, camera setups, grips, and so on, and various Heath Robinson devices to actually get this to get the shots that we needed to do. So that was before we even shot a single roll of film properly, actually within principal photography. That started around about January last year. So we've been shooting since then. There's been a couple of breaks here and there, but we started on the post work actually before then. We actually started on the post work, preliminary, getting designs done, getting concept artists in to get the look of our guy. Again, this is the fourth iteration. We originally start on pencil sketches, and we start off, rough models on the computer, see how he works, and so on. Then we start getting rushes through, we start getting shots through, and then we go through the actual, main production process. So Yeah, it's been definitely over a year. Delightful on viewers. I'm Draper. I'm the Chief Technical Officer and co-founder of Makuta. We're the primary animation and visual effects company for eager. This is our guy. Isn't he cute? Thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the film.